What's up? This is Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater, and you're watching MPJ.
Today. I know you guys are out right now currently with Iron Maiden, and tonight you're actually doing an off night where you guys are headlining. Have you guys been doing many like off nights like that, or?
The whole tour with Iron Maiden's like 6 weeks, and I think we have 4 club shows in between. It was Portland, Columbus, Buffalo, and now tonight here in Worcester. Just 4, and that's it.
Very cool. And playing with Iron Maiden, how cool? And there's like I think 2 more days, and you guys play the Garden with them. How excited are you?
Well, twofold. On one level, we love playing with Maiden. I mean, they're one of our biggest influences. We grew up with them, and you know, we've done so many shows with them throughout the years, but they were mostly over in Europe, so it's nice to finally actually be doing a full-blown tour with them here in North America.
Right.
So that's one side of it, and then the other side is actually playing the Garden. That in itself is going to be a total dream come true. I mean, we're a New York band, and you know, we've gone up the ladder from the Limelight to Irving Plaza to the Beacon Theater to Roseland to Radio City Music Hall, and now the final stop is Madison Square Garden. So it's really like completing the New York checklist for us.
Excellent. Well, that's very cool. Very happy for you guys that you guys are doing that, and of course you guys, I mean, 25 years of like amazing albums and things that you guys have done over the years. That's great.
Thank you.
Get to do that. Now, opening for Iron Maiden, it's got to be kind of a challenge to come up with a set list, because you guys, I mean, usually play for a long time. How long of a set do you get with them, and how did you come up with your set list for it?
With Maiden, we're playing a 50-minute set list, and normally I write a different set list for every show when we're on a normal Dream Theater tour. Mm-hmm. But in the case of opening for Maiden, I wanted to write one set list that was just like the perfect set list aimed at their audience. You know, right. I wanted to write something that was kind of a crash course in the metal side of Dream Theater, and I didn't want to mix it up from night to night. I wanted to come up with that perfect formula and then just play it every night. And basically, I stuck to you know, the metal side of the band and the stuff that was a little bit easier to swallow, more accessible. It's kind of like Dream Theater's greatest hits that never were. You know, all the ones that we've done videos for: Constant Motion, Rite of Passage, Pull Me Under. So it's that side of the band. Very
cool. And how's that been received then with the crowd?
It's been great. You know, playing to Maiden's crowd could be very intimidating because their fans are truly hardcore, and I would say there's only a handful of bands in the world that have such a devoted fan base, and you know, Maiden is one of them, Metallica's another. But when you play to a Maiden audience, everybody wears Iron Maiden shirts. No, you know, when you go to a Dream Theater show, you'll see people wearing Dream Theater shirts, but then the audience want to mix it up. You know, they'll wear a Pain of Salvation shirt or a Symphony X shirt. They want to show their, you know, variety of tastes. Right. When you go to a Maiden show, everybody wears a Maiden shirt. So it's very intimidating when we're on stage playing to a sea of Maiden shirts, especially because they let their fan club in first. So usually the first 10, 20 rows are the most hardcore Maiden fans there are.
Right.
So it's intimidating, but I would say that I think we're doing real well. In fact, their crew guys have said that we're going over better than any band that's ever toured with them.
Oh, excellent.
So, I mean, I guess, you know, it helps when we have a lot of our fan base also coming to help strengthen the pot. But it's been good. I think we're making a lot of new fans out of their fans.
Very cool. And you guys are influenced. They're one of your influences too,
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we formed Dream Theater 25 years ago, it was Maiden and Rush. Those were the 2 big ones for us, and we wanted Dream Theater to be a combination of the 2.
Very cool. And of course, you're with Iron Maiden. Have you played with Rush then, or?
No, that's one of the remaining goals on the checklist.
Very cool. Well, hopefully, anyone who was Rush is watching.
Well, I know Rush, but they're not going to let us do it. They've been doing the evening widths and touring by themselves for many years. They're not interested in having another band out with them.
In June of 2009, you guys released your 10th studio album, Black Clouds and Silver Lining. And I was wondering, because it seemed like when you look at the list, whether it's a full-length album or an EP or some kind of live album that you guys put out, almost every year you guys have put out something, especially I think it was the last 9 years consecutively, and then there's like a few off nights. Do you guys have anything planned, like a live thing or anything for this year? Or
no, we've done live releases for, I believe, 5 out of the last 6 studio albums.
Oh, they were part of that.
Ever since Falling Into Infinity and Once in a Lifetime back in 97, 98, basically we've done that every time with the exception of one album. So it's time to make another exception and break the chain, just because I hate doing the same thing and following the same pattern and being predictable. So, you know, after so many cycles of that, I think it's, you know, this time I didn't want to do something.
And now you also do, like, I know you were inducted to the Drummer Hall of Fame, and then you also do, like, DVD instructional videos. Do you have anything like that in the works, too, or thinking of doing anything like that?
No, the last instructional DVD I did was about 3 years ago, and it was a 7-hour, 3-disc set, so I think I really blew my load with that one. I think that should cover my drumming for a while.
Very cool. And of course, I've heard that you're a big fan where you like bootlegs and you do your own bootlegs at Dream Theater. And as a matter of fact, you put some up for download on your site for people to purchase, right?
Well, we have our own official bootleg, you know, label, and through the years we've released, I don't know, 15, 20 titles from my archives, and it's something that I'll put out, you know, 3 or 4 titles per year. So I've been doing that for many years now, yeah.
That's pretty cool. And it's like a drum cam that you should...
Oh, no, that's a whole separate thing. I'm talking about for Dream Theater. But then my own personal store, the last, I think, 5 or 6 Dream Theater albums, I've put out drum cam DVDs, you know, the making of the drum parts for each of them.
Oh, cool.
As well as I've had 4 different cover bands, and you know, that's all available on my site as well. I mean, so between those that I do for my own site and the ones I do for Dream Theater, there's just dozens and dozens of titles that aren't even available in stores.
And you brought up that, like, some of your cover bands too, because you're in a couple of them, aren't you?
4 of them.
There's Hal, and then there's...
Well, Hal, I guess Hal makes 5, actually.
What do you want to talk about the other ones too? Like, there's a Beatles one, right? Or...
I did a Beatles tribute band, a Zeppelin tribute, Who, and Rush. Those are the 4 tribute bands that I did together with Paul Gilbert on guitar. And yeah, those were, you know, kind of one-off projects that I did, but since then I've made them available on CD and DVD.
Very cool. And then Hal is kind of like a super group where you guys just kind of getting together. Is that what that is? Or?
Well, Hal was something I was invited to do. It wasn't something that I put together, so I was just basically hired, and you know, to join them for some shows, and it was a tremendous amount of fun. And but basically, it was David Ellison, Ripper Owens, and Andreas Kisser from Sepultura, and you know, Hal is something that's kind of a classic metal or thrash tribute band, and they kind of have this revolving door of musicians, and I was honored to have been one of the drummers to walk through that revolving door.
Very cool. And then also, what? She wants me to bring up how you were in Rolling Stone's 8th. Is that what it is, right?
8th greatest drummer of all time. You were.
Oh, is that right?
You were 8th greatest drummer of all time. That's what you were voted as.
That's fucking bullshit. You mean to tell me there's 7 people that were voted ahead of me?
I was like, you don't even know. I mean, who do you have to beat? Who are the 7 you have to beat down to make it to #1 next year?
Yeah. You know, the drum polls that have been completely blessed to have won through the years are tremendously flattering, and you know, these poll lists, I mean, surely they're just subjective and they're just people's opinions, but it's nice to be held in such high regard, you know. What can I say? But if anything, it scares me. It feels like I have these expectations that are put on me now. I just want to play drums. I don't want to, like, have to prove anything. I want to just play and have fun, so it's kind of scary, but it's nice. Thank you.
Well, it doesn't seem like you have to prove too much. You've already proved yourself.
No, but you know what I'm saying? But like, but then there's people that are like, oh, this guy was on this, and he's in the Modern Drum Hall of Fame. He better be good. And if, you know, so every time I play, I feel like, oh God, you know, how do I possibly meet up to these expectations? I just want to play, you know?
Right. Oh, you just do what you do best.
Yeah.
Very cool.